Offices in Baton Rouge.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12682. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, mic check. All right. Sounds like we're on the air. We just didn't know we were on the air. It is Hunt and Hill. Welcome in to a Football Friday edition of Hunt and Hill. I don't even know the intro now. I'm so out of sorts. I am Hunt. Hunt Palmer, is Hill, Jeremy Hill, Casey Gaines, and Taylor Sharp on the ones and twos. A little technical difficulty here on a Football Friday, but that's all right. Spirits are high. We are fired up. LSU and Tennessee tomorrow. Saints Seahawks on Sunday. We are getting you ready for all of it here over the next 2 hours. Chris Budden from ESPN is going to be roaming the sidelines tomorrow. She will join us at 2:30. We'll have our final pick, of course, to end the show. We're going to get you set up for our SEC gambling picks. Just a little bit of a hint, Jeremy. I love my picks this week in SEC games. I love them. I love them. I love them. And we are fired up to get to those at 2 o'clock. We'll have our NFL tiers at 1:30. But we'll start off here with LSU and Tennessee. A lot was made when the game time came out 2 weeks ago, and everybody was furious. And LSU was mad because they didn't want the game there, and all the fans are upset, and tailgates are screwed up, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to do pre and post game show on E1 8.1 game day. Game time's all different. Yeah, that stunk. That's not fun. It's a kick in the pants, but it's going to be an awesome day on campus tomorrow. The weather's going to be fantastic. The players are going to be fired up. The stadium's going to be alive. It's going to be a ton of fun, and I'm really excited to get into Tiger Stadium tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And I think, as kind of last week, everyone had kind of heard the bad news. Oh, 11 a.m. I think the people are ready to, show up and show out for the Tigers. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. Obviously, you got to get there a lot more earlier than you used to. I think I'm going to be up at 6:30 in the morning trying to get rolling to get there. But I'm excited. I know the players are ready to go, especially after kind of playing the way they did last week. I think they're going to be ready and excited to kind of change around and everything that happened last week. So, yeah, it's going to be a big-time game for the Tigers.
That is one aspect of the deal that we don't really know. I mean, we've had 11 a.m. games before, but I live a mile and a half from the stadium. I'm leaving my house at 6:45 because if I get there at 7:15, I get there at 7:15. I'm on at 9. If I get there at 9:15, we got a big problem. So I'm just going to err on the side of being early. I think a lot of people are going to do that. There may be a little bit of traffic, but just strap in and rock and roll because it's LSU and Tennessee at 11 a.m. tomorrow inside Tiger Stadium. So much has been made of the matchup between Tennessee's offense and LSU's defense, and that's where we'll start here today. There's some statistics that the old saying goes, something's got to give. Well, something's got to give. Tennessee boat raced Pittsburgh and Florida in the meat of the game, right there, late second quarter, early third quarter, in the third quarter. That's where they've really been great. LSU has not allowed a single point in 14 straight second-half possessions. LSU's defense has been awesome in the second half, and so something's got to give there late in the game. Tennessee's trying to wear you down. They're going to make adjustments, and Hooker's been fantastic. LSU's Matt House and that pass rush and what LSU's been able to do defensively has been awesome. I think we'll see. Something's got to give in the second half.
Yeah, something's definitely got to give. When we think about an offense that's just so good in the red zone and a defense who's been also very good in the red zone, I think you're going to have a lot of opportunities because it's just so hard to continue to make this Tennessee offense go 3 and out. They're going to get yards, but it's really going to come down to, what you can do in the red zone. So I'm excited to see what kind of Matt House game plan he has this week. He shocked me with that Mississippi State game plan that he had and, a lot of stuff, a lot of exotic looks that you didn't really, think that he had up his sleeve. So I'm sure going into this week, he's got to have a game plan for Hendon Hooker. And I think, last week kind of getting those busts out the way and kind of getting that secondary lock back in because this is the last week you can afford to have those kind of busting coverages. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how this offense matches up with this defense because I think this defense is sneakily underrated.
You hit on 3 of my notes there that I want to expound on a little bit. So well done. Nice way to tease in there. You mentioned Mississippi State. That's a timing offense with a veteran quarterback that's lit up everyone they've played except LSU in the air. LSU held Will Rogers to 24 of 42. He only threw for 214 yards and a touchdown. They sacked him 4 times. Yes, Auburn got the best of LSU through the air like they hadn't with anybody. But most of that was off schedule and just a Robbie Ashford escaping the pocket and breaking contain and then getting the ball down the field. Certainly, Hendon Hooker is capable of doing that. I wouldn't suggest otherwise. But he more so than not operates on rhythm, in the pocket, with timing. A lot of the same stuff as Will Rogers did. LSU did a nice job of slowing Mississippi State down. Hopefully you see a little bit more of that in the game tomorrow. Another stat that where, quote-unquote, something's got to give. You mentioned this. Tennessee is number 1 in the country in red zone efficiency. They are 22 for 22. They score a ton of touchdowns. LSU is the best team in the SEC in terms of red zone defense. They've only allowed 7 scores in 11 tries. They've only allowed 4 touchdowns in 11 tries. The fact is that Tennessee is going to get yards. They're going to move the ball. That's the same thing Mississippi State did more often than not. But if you can bog them down in the red zone, those field shrinks, and they don't run the ball quite as well. They like to throw it, and the field shrinks down. And LSU's front is pretty good. And so if you can maybe allow them to go on a 55-yard drive, but if you stop them right there at the 17 and make them kick a field goal, that's not going to kill you. So it's a question of what happens when you get inside the 20.
Yeah, it is. And I think for LSU, you feel really, really great about this Tennessee rushing attack. And normally that's kind of the easier thing to do when you kind of get down in those tight zones. Those windows aren't big as they are in the open field. You can't go through those deep plays down the field. So if you have a run game that you can depend on, it's easy to just kind of punch it in there, get a couple runs, and set yourself up for 3rd and short. But if Tennessee can't get those easy bailout yards in the red zone, it's going to force Hooker to kind of use his arm against these DBs on the outside. And I think these DBs are excited for this matchup. I think really it's up to them this game. When you really watch, Tennessee play, their receivers are making plays down the field time and time again on one-on-one coverage. So I think of all the weeks this season, those guys are going to step up and have to play huge. And if they can do that, it's going to set up a world where these defensive ends can get after Hendon and really make him, struggle in the pocket and, not really have the time to survey the field and find those deep shots. So I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing how these DBs match up with these receivers, especially if Tillman's not going to be playing.
Another matchup of strengths. LSU leads the league in turnovers forced with 12. They lead the league in turnover margin at +5. Hendon Hooker has not thrown an interception. So that's 2 strengths. I think while I think LSU can probably lean on red zone strength, I think that's a real thing. I think that what they did to Will Rogers is a real thing. Turnovers are a little bit more chance. So I would probably favor Tennessee in this battle of strengths. I don't expect Hendon Hooker to go out there and throw 3 interceptions because LSU is quote-unquote great at forcing turnovers. That's you can less likely count on that. But you figure he's not going to go the entire season without a pick. And tomorrow would be a nice time to start.
Yeah, no, I'm not picky with the turnovers. I'll take a B.J. Ojolari strip sack. I'll take one of these running backs who fumble throughout the season. I'll take one of those guys putting it on the ground. It doesn't necessarily have to be the interception. I think if you can kind of do what this defense done all year, and that's play physical and playing fast downhill, kind of got you in a little trouble last week against Auburn. But I think this defense, they know how important it is to turn the ball over. And so however you can get them in a game like this, keeping those guys off the board, keeping those guys from scoring touchdowns, it's going to be huge. So, but yeah, I would love to see, Hendon throw a couple. That make the stadium erupt.
It sure would. Look, we know that Tennessee is not going to have a full strength Cedric Tillman if they have him at all. He's the best guy they've got. He lit Pitt up like a Christmas tree. He's an awesome, awesome player. But he had the high ankle sprain. He had the tightrope surgery 3 weeks ago. We saw Tua 2 weeks removed from it 3 years ago. Did not look very good on it. He may go out there and try to play a little bit. I kind of doubt it. They do have Bama next week, which is a huge game. This is a huge game too. If he's able to play, he will. But, I kind of doubt that he's very effective if he's out there. But the guys outside of him have stepped up and been pretty good. It's not like Hendon Hooker has missed much of a beat. Jalen Hyatt been really good for him, averaging 80 yards a game, 14 yards a catch. Brew McCoy is pretty talented. And Ramel Keaton made a couple of unbelievable plays in the Florida game. One right before the half that was sensational on a dive. So I would take LSU's receiving core over Tennessee's, but I'm not going to make too much of the narrative that Tillman's not playing, so Tennessee doesn't have any threats on the outside. They got some guys that can play.
Yeah, they do. And I think, to me, I like McCoy the best. To me, the second Tillman kind of went down, you saw anytime Hendon saw that guy one-on-one, he's giving him those back shoulder fades. He's not afraid to throw, go balls to him. And he's a physical receiver who can go down the field and make plays. There's no way you get the stats and accumulate the stats that Hendon Hooker has if you're throwing in nobodies on the outside, especially with the number one receiver out. Those guys can make plays. It's kind of the reason why their offense is so talented. So yeah, you got to give respect to those receivers. They're really, like I said with LSU all the time, that's kind of the strong suit of their offense. They don't really have that dynamic runner of the football, especially from the running back position. So yeah, they're going to be dependent on the receivers a ton in this game to create separation and go make those one-on-one plays.
One of the things I like about Tiger Stadium's crowd, and this is not unique to LSU, but it certainly is the case, when an awesome player or unit comes into Tiger Stadium, LSU fans know it, and it causes reaction. I remember very vividly in 2018, Alabama had scored a touchdown on every opening drive entering that game. That was Tua, that was Waddle, that was Devontae Smith, that was Judy. I mean, it was just a cornucopia of receivers out there, and they were wrecking everybody offensively. And everybody knew that Alabama scored a touchdown on every first drive. So LSU got a stop on that first drive, and the place went nuts. And so I expect a little bit of that tomorrow when LSU can get a stop, especially early. If you can get a third down sack on Hooker or force him to throw a ball away, make a bit. That's going to ignite that place. And again, we open with this, but for those that kind of stepped away because we had some technical difficulties, I think the stadium's going to be on fire tomorrow. I think there are skeptics. Oh, it's only night games in Tiger Stadium. There's plenty of loud day games I can point to in Tiger Stadium. This is going to be one as long as LSU is competitive or winning the game.
Yeah, no, I definitely expect a great crowd, definitely in effect. But what I will say, that offense starts slow. I don't know how great that's going to be. So I think the defense, you definitely in an atmosphere like this, people are waking up early. They're coming to the game. They want to see some good football. So I think starting fast in an environment like this, especially Tennessee, who does have that factor of looking forward to Alabama, Especially kind of watching LSU offense play last week. And I know as a football player, like, man, that's how they played against Auburn. We can beat these guys. So they could be looking forward to Alabama next week. So I think now more than ever, it's a perfect opportunity to start fast and get this thing going on the right foot.
I don't know if we started fast, had a little bit of technical difficulty. We appreciate Bo Wegman, Cade, and Casey and all them getting things squared away so that we can bring you this Football Friday edition of Hunt and Hill. Opening hour always brought to you by Angel Oak Home Loans. On a Friday, contact our guy Ryan Shemp. If you're in the need for a new buy or a refi, Angel Oak Home Loans can help you out. I want to remind you tonight at the Baton Rouge Zoo, the Zoo Foundation hosting its 8th annual Brew at the Zoo. Come on out to the zoo from 7 to 10 tonight. Dozens of craft beers available, food from local vendors, and some awesome live music from our girl Abby Lee from 100.7 The Tiger. Get your tickets today at brzoobrew.org. When we come back, there was a quote I heard when doing some prep for Tennessee from the Tennessee side of things that perked my ears up. I think you'll want to hear it. We'll get to that next. It's Hunt and Hill.
Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill. It's Hunt and Hill.
Reliable Roofing and Construction, ReliableRoofingBR.com.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys about Reliable Roofing, a family-run, owned, and operated residential roofing company. They've been in business since 2008 with over 30 years of roofing experience.
Reliable Roofing this month, all month long, going to give you $1,000 off of your new roof, just as a celebration of the awareness of breast careness here in October. So $1,000 off of your roof. And with that new roof, you're going to get a 5-year labor warranty. You're going to get the best quality in shingles, and you're going to get the best options in terms of number of shingles that you can choose from for your new roof. You just need an inspection, they can do it. Need a repair, they can do it. Of course, if you need a new roof, they can do it at Reliable Roofing and Construction. Lionel Hayes is going to visit every single site that his team works on. Make yours next. If you need a new roof, Reliable Roofing and Construction, go to the website, ReliableRoofingBR.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Dibs!
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Dibs!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free.
should be able to move the football tomorrow. Now, they should have been able to move the ball against Auburn, and they didn't for the first half last week. So would it shock me if LSU came out and scored 18 points, 17 points? It would not. But they have a real good chance to win tomorrow because Tennessee is not one of these juggernaut top 5 teams we've seen come into Baton Rouge where both sides of the ball click. They just have one side that's playing the best in the country.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you're not a complete football team. It kind of only creates 1 or maybe 2 avenues for you to win football games. And when you don't have the defense to back you, it makes it tough, especially when you're on the road. And so if you're Tennessee, it's more important than it's ever been for you to not turn the football over, to not keep this crowd in this football game, to not give LSU any free points, because if you do that, I don't know if that defense can hold up, man. They've given up a lot of points to some teams, and I think, LSU, they're hungry to have that success on offense. And now can they go out there and execute and play to that level? We'll see that tomorrow. But I think looking at that Tennessee defense, the secondary is just not very good. They miss a lot of tackles, and they don't really have the greatest rush defenses either. So we'll see how it goes. But I know for LSU, they're probably confident going into this football game.
It feels to me that LSU's best chance is not necessarily the methodical long drives, which they could go on, which a lot of times includes Jaden Daniels picking up some yards with his feet. That's what they've done most of the time. But it's Emery for 60. It's Kayshawn for 60. It's Malik Neighbors for 75. It's a big play because Tennessee busted, or they just don't have the guys to play with LSU's elite playmakers, who to this point have not made a lot of plays, but they are capable. They've done it in college. It's not like I'm just going back on YouTube clips to look at what guys were doing against, Westgate and and John Curtis. These guys have done it at this level. So I think the LSU's best chance is to hit a couple of huge plays in this game.
They have to, and I think that's kind of been the biggest thing that you've seen, and they've only really been able to do to a consistent level against really bad teams. You saw a couple deep balls to Hilton in that New Mexico game. You saw the deep one to Malik in the Southern game, but really anything 30, 40 yards down the field, really big-time plays that shift field position, they just haven't done that consistently enough in the offensive attack, and that's why you see, Coach Kelly talking about that to the media. I'm sure he's beating it down the team's throat that, we just got to be a lot more explosive, and I think, going against this Tennessee secondary, I think can be had. You can't have plays on these guys. It's going to be a great opportunity to do that. And if you can do that, it's going to put a lot of pressure on that Tennessee offense, and maybe you can get a turnover out of Hooker. But, I think it's so important to have some big-time plays in this game.
How are we looking for a soundbite back there, guys? We need to hold off on that a second. Okay. So there's a soundbite that I want to play for you that I heard on a podcast, and I'll kind of set the stage for it right now. It was from the Go Vols 247 podcast. They cover Tennessee for the 247 network. It's 3 guys, and Wes Rucker is the host of it. And Wes is I love his stuff. I think he does a really good job covering Tennessee. He is cut from my cloth, meaning he grew up in Knoxville. He's a diehard Tennessee fan growing up and then took a job covering Tennessee. And I don't think there's any problem with that. I do that. Like, I am a diehard LSU fan who sits here and talks about LSU all day. But, yeah, I think it's fair to say that I skew things positively for LSU, like anyone would do that loves a team and wants them to do well. So I think when we hear this soundbite from West, you understand who it's coming from, a guy who wants Tennessee to do very, very well. But his comment on their defense is really something that made me it perked my ears up because of the words that he used, and we'll play that soundbite now.
I also now almost think Tennessee's got a better chance to lose a game it shouldn't lose than I had going into the season, because the way that defense has so many just really, really scary parts to it, where they're not, you get them in space and they're just not that fast, they're not that athletic, they're not that good. So I think it just puts so much pressure.
That's strong words. They got some scary parts to it. They're not that fast. They're not that athletic. They're not that good. I mean, that's a lot to deal with if Kayshawn or Brian Thomas or Malik Neighbors or John Emery gets their hands on the football in a little bit of space, which you imagine is going to happen at some point.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think you got to think about this like you started this whole segment out. This Tennessee program isn't that far removed from going 7-5 last season. No, they're off to a good start to this season, but that secondary, they don't have those guys. And, I mean, when you're used to watching LSU, DBU, and some of the guys we've had in their secondary, they don't have those guys in that secondary. And you watch that Anthony Richardson and that Florida receiving attack just go up and down the field. They're throwing guys on the ground, spinning off of guys. It's just – it looks bad, man. And so, yeah, if you're a fan, you kind of have those concerns. It's kind of like we did last year watching the offensive line play. It's like, man, like we got weapons, but like we can't block anybody. And so it just creates you as a fan. It creates those, seeds of doubts. And if you were to think, man, how would we lose this football game? It would be these LSU receivers, stepping up and having a big time day because, they really don't have that type of secondary, especially with their best defensive back being out.
Opening hour of your Football Friday brought to you by Angel Oak Home Loans. We'll take a timeout. Come back with more. It's Hunt and Hill.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new.
This is Aaron Taravella with the Taravella team at GMFS Mortgage. GMFS is the #1 mortgage lender in Louisiana, helping thousands of clients achieve their mortgage needs this past year. So if you're in the market to buy a new home or renovate your existing home, please give me a call at 225-214-5179. That's 214-5179, and ask for me, Aaron Taravella with
Kids have staked out their
GMFS.
place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well. Yes! It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah! Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with lubricants.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Football Friday edition of Hunt and Hill brought to you on the opening hour by Angel Oak Home Loans. Contact our guy Ryan Shemp. New buy or refi. If you're a tough loan, maybe you're an investor, self-employed, tough getting a loan, Angel Oak's got some creative options to help you with. So again, contact our guy Ryan Shemp over at Angel Oak Home Loans. Looking for something to do tonight? If you're just hanging out and not sure what there is to do on the town, don't have dinner reservations, head on over to Go Mad. What is Go Mad? It's 6 o'clock tonight in front of the PMAC, right between the ramps, right where I actually do the pregame show. They've set up a basketball court, and both basketball teams, the men and the women, will be there hanging out. They're going to play around a little bit. Chance for one student to shoot a half-court shot for the chance at $10,000. And they're going to do a three-point shooting contest. It's going to start with 4 players from each team, and we'll go down to an ultimate showdown between the winner of the men's foursome and the women's foursome. You'll see Justice Hill, Mwani Wilkinson, KJ Williams, Adam Miller on the men's side. Jasmine Carson, Flo J. Johnson, Ryan Rain, and Alexis Morris will be shooting for the women. So I'm going to have Matt McMahon on the pregame show tomorrow. They have started up practice, both the men and the women. So should be a fun night out there in front of the PMAC for the basketball squads if you're looking for something to do.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I think, getting a new area in to Baton Rouge, and I know it's a lot of unknowns with that little cloud over the head. But, yeah, it's a Friday night before game day. Get out with the family, get it something to do. Yeah, I'm always down to go to the PMAC.
We're going to stay on time here. We got a lot to do over the rest of the hour. We had some technical difficulties at the top, so we are going to go take another quick break here after this quick segment we know. But after that, we're on schedule for the next 90 minutes and rocking and rolling. It's a Football Friday edition of Hunt and Hill.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford, check them out at BayouFord.com. The entire inventory is there at BayouFord.com, and every new buy at Bayou Ford comes with a 1,000,000-mile powertrain warranty. The life of that vehicle, you will have it with you at Bayou Ford. Service department is awesome with the convenience that they provide. They've got drivers that will come pick your car up to be serviced, give you a loaner so you can get on about your day. Don't even have to miss a minute with Bayou Ford on the service side of things. And they got some great deals, too.
Yeah, head over to BayouFord.com. They have the brand new 2022 Ford Expedition Timberline tinted windows, ready to lift 3 kit on there. Also, all new 2021 Ford F-150s. They're getting $14,000 off MSRP, including the Black Widow edition.
Love to hear $14,000 off MSRP over there at Bayou Ford. Check out the inventory at Bayou Ford. Bayou Ford, they're going to do right. Bayou.
Jay Dakota here for Calandro's Supermarket.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
104.5 ESPN and Acura of Baton Rouge ask for your support in helping us raise money for Folds of Honor. It's a nonprofit organization which provides families of fallen or disabled service members educational scholarships. To donate to this important cause, visit our website at 1045ESPN.com. This week, everyone who makes a donation going to be entered to win tickets to see Judas Priest November the 18th at the Raising Cane's River Center. Donate now at 1045ESPN.com from Acura of Baton Rouge and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. I'll be honest with you, Jeremy. I didn't watch a snap of Colts Broncos, and I'm okay with that. That's okay with me that I just tuned that one out because it doesn't appear I missed much of anything.
Oh, no, you did not at all. I mean, talk about sleepy. I threw it and take it or leave it for a little bit. But, yeah, that was bad, man. Looks like Mr. Unlimited. I think he could be a little limited.
He might be limited.
Yeah, he may be a little limited. That just didn't look good.
Limited.
My boy Sherman taking shots while he's doing the game.
Run the ball!
Yeah, that was just bad football. And I don't know how much riding Broncos this country has been doing. I mean, it looks like they're parked in the parking lot right now.
That whole state stinks at football. Buffaloes are terrible. Rams are terrible. Broncos are terrible. Not good. But Colts win 12-9 last night. No touchdowns scored in that game. All right, time to go through our NFL tiers list. You know how it works. Tier 4, the worst. Tier 1, the best action of the Sunday slate. Start with Tier 4. Look, you don't put the Pats in Tier 4 very often. They deserve it right now. The Lions are headed to New England. New England has given up 325 rushing yards in the last 6 quarters. The Lions lead the NFL in yards per carry. I think the Lions are going to go up to New England and handle business. I don't think the Lions are very good, but I think the Patriots stink.
You got Bailey Zappi, man. Who would have thought that'd be a starting quarterback in the NFL this season? But honestly, sneakily, that Lions offense, they've been scoring a lot of points this year. I didn't think Jared Goff's top 10 in the NFL in QBR. The defense, little cause for concern, but yeah, I think that's going to be.
Who's going to hurt him from New England?
Yeah, that's the problem. You got a backup quarterback in there or a third-string quarterback in there. So yeah, I could ride with you there. Let's get Campbell a win. I'm sure the Hard Knocks fans will love that.
Texans at the Jags. I know the Jags are better. The Texans aren't. That's not good football. The Jags do lead the NFL in run defense until last week when Philly ran for 210 yards and 4 touchdowns. Damian Pierce has been pretty good for the Texans, but I'm not watching this game anyway. So what do you thought?
Yeah, I guess the only thing I'd be playing to is making sure this Trevor Lawrence thing isn't just a little phase, a little fad, but he's been playing well, and I think he'll continue that against his Texans defense, who, yeah, my boy Sting, who's been playing well as well, but I think, Trevor may be the real deal.
All right, Tier 3, the lesser action of the weekend. Steelers are at the Bills. Kenny Pickett's going to get the first start, which may make it a little bit interesting. Interestingly enough, for the Bills, Josh Allen has accounted for every touchdown they have scored this year, either running or throwing. Got to get the running game going, score a little bit on the ground.
Yeah, no, they definitely got to get the run game on. I mean, it's kind of like something we talk about. It's kind of like a fave thing. Got to rush the passer. Got to get the run game going. So I think now of all games, that'd be a great opportunity for them to do that.
Bears at the Vikings have gotten Tier 3. The Bears are unwatchable. They've got 390 passing yards on the season to this point. That's the 4th fewest at this point in the calendar since 2000. Fields does not have no help, and he's not playing well. They're an unwatchable offensive product.
Man, look, I hate to throw a shot at my boy Baker Mayfield, but at least Justin Fields is 31st place right now. He's not the absolute worst quarterback in the NFL, but talk about playing bad quarterback play. He just has not done enough to do that. And so, yeah, I think for my boy Jets, another opportunity to continue to just stack those pads up. I'm expecting a big-time game from him. And Mr. Kirk Cousins, he's rocking the jewelry now. He said he felt like a new man putting on my boy's Jets chain. So, yeah, Kirk got some new drip. I got the Vikings.
Dolphins are at the Jets. Sneakily, the Dolphins are 11-2 since week 9 of last year. That's pretty impressive. They're number 1 in defensive efficiency in that span. They're number 1 in QBR in that span. Dolphins are good.
Yeah, they are. And I think, obviously Tua was a big part of doing that. I think no way on planet Earth he's going to touch a football field anytime soon. I think everyone's going to be walking on pins and needles with that. But that's why you get a good backup. I think Saints fans know all and well what Teddy Bridgewater is capable of, being the bridge until Tua gets back. And I think he can do enough, even with Tyreek Hill out, to get the job done there.
Titans are at Washington. I've got this in Tier 3. Washington only allows 1.1 yards after contact. That's second best in the league. Here comes Derrick Henry. I think he will probably challenge that number.
Yeah, no, it looks like Henry, got off to a bad start this season, but he's starting. He's like a freight train, man. Now you get that thing rolling. That's the last thing. Yeah, that's the last thing you want to be dealing with on the second level. So yeah, I think the Titans know more now than ever. Not get the Texas A&M receiver / quarterback throwing the ball 20, 40 times a game. You got to feed that ball to Henry, and I think they kind of found that identity.
49ers are going across the country to Carolina. It's always hard to fly all the way across the country. Niners are 2-0 at home, 0-2 on the road. And on the road, they're scoring 10 points per game. We love Kyle Shanahan, the offense, the trickery, the creativity. Hadn't been good on the road. We'll see if it's good in Carolina. I would have to pick them in this game. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that pass rush. I think that's kind of Baker Mayfield's worst nightmare. I know a pass rush that can really get after him, and that's exactly what the 49ers have. When they get on offense, they're going to try to run the ball and use Deebo Samuel in creative ways. I just don't think the Niners can lose to the Panthers right now, even on the road. That's just a really, really bad football team. We talk about Harsin, hanging on by a thread. I think Matt Rule is in that same boat. So, yeah, I think the 49ers find a way to win that football game.
Tier 2, getting better. This is the good stuff for the weekend. More games than the lesser tiers, but there is some good stuff on the card. The Giants are at the Packers. Look, Aaron Rodgers said this week he's got to play better. His QBR through 4 games is 43.1. That's the worst through 4 games in his entire career. The Giants are better than we thought, maybe, but they'll have to prove it if they're going to go to Green Bay and win.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you have an opportunity to show the entire NFL. And a lot of times when your team who haven't made deep playoff runs, your quarterback hasn't done much in the playoffs, these are the type of games where you can kind of show the league, hey, we're a real deal. Like, we're a contender. We're here to play. It's not a joke. We're not the laughing stock of the league. And even with all that being said, I got the Packers. I don't think the Giants are going to win that game.
The Chargers are at Cleveland. Nick Chubb leads the NFL in 10-yard plus runs on the season. The Chargers allow 5.5 yards per carry. I don't love this matchup for the Chargers. For that reason, the Browns are going to run the football.
Yeah, the Browns, sneaky team this year. No, they let one kind of slip away last week against the Falcons. But Chubb, man, like I say it all the time, you want to pick the best back in football. If you want to say Nick Chubb's that guy, I would not be mad if you're just so hard to bring down to the ground. They have obviously a really good backup running back in Hunt who's going to mix it up in the pass game as well. But I still got the Chargers shit, man. It's just hard for me to pick a quarterback, quarterback. This way I look at most of these matchups, and I just think Herbert's just better, and I think he'll make the throws down the stretch that can win that football game. So, yeah, I got the Chargers there.
The Falcons headed down to Tampa for a divisional showdown. Tom Brady has not lost 3 games in a row since 2002. Do the Falcons go to Tampa and win?
I think you know how Aaron has like some stake in the Bears and like he kind of has some ownership there. I venture to say Tom has a little something with the Falcons going on. Like throughout his tenure with the Bucs.
I see a lot of flags down when I go to New Orleans. People flying flags.
Yeah,
28-3.
Yeah, so I think I'll take Tommy Boy in that. He said he's feeling great this week. Got the divorce attorneys lined up and stuff. So yeah, he's focused on the game. So yeah, I got Tommy Boy.
Whoever's the divorce attorney for that one's going to get paid a pretty penny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my first one had to write me a check back. Didn't have anything to do. But this one, they're going to have some cash to divvy up, some assets to divvy up. But Tom will first be trying to take out the Falcons. All right, Tier 1, best football of the weekend. Taylor Sharp's boys at the Rams. The Rams have been outscored, listen to this stat, in the fourth quarter, 44-3 this year in the fourth quarter. That is awful.
Yeah, that's bad. And that's kind of something I saw when I picked the Rams last year. And I'm like, yeah, I feel good about what they have. They got Von Miller, got Odell, all that stuff. And then towards the latter half of the season, you saw them really struggling to finish football games. You saw Matt Stafford getting sacked. You saw him having turnovers. And it kind of seems like they kind of picked up, the way they were finishing the season last year. He's been sacked the second most in the NFL, second most times behind Carson Wentz. And that's the last team you want to be playing against. That Cowboys defensive line is ferocious. So, shockingly, Taylor, hopefully I'm not jinxing your boys, but I think the Cowboys match up well with this Rams team, man. I got to pick the Cowboys. I got to take Gordy's cousin, man. Gordy's cousin on the road getting the job done.
Why would you do that? Last time you took the Cowboys over the Bucs, I told you what was going to happen. I need you to pick the Rams, Jeremy.
All right, you have your chance. Switch your pick.
All right. My bad. My fingers are crossed. So, you see, like, fingers are crossed. Yeah, Rams. Go Rams.
All right, we'll see. Look, that's I remember Marcus Spears on Monday morning. They were talking about how the Rams couldn't block anybody, and said, "Guess who's coming next?" And Spears lowered his glasses down his nose and kind of gave this look like, "You already know." Like, that pass rush is the real deal. Headed to LA. Tier 1. I think this game is interesting. The Eagles have been great. Everybody's toasting them, and you're heading across the country to Arizona. The Cardinals have been bad for a season and basically a full season now after the second half of last year. Look, the Eagles are the only team in the NFL to win the turnover battle every week. Can you count on that every week? I don't know. Sneaky spot here. I like the Cardinals to beat the Eagles.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think the Cardinals are one of those tricky teams, kind of like the Falcons. Like, if they're playing really, really good, college running around the yard, extending plays, throwing the ball down the field, like, that could be very difficult to deal with. But if you keep them in the pocket, get them sacked, and have a few turnovers, they can really look really, really bad in a football game. I'm going to continue to ride with the Eagles. To me, they've been kind of the most consistent team all season long, and who would have thought going into the season with Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position? But he's found it out, man. He has a head coach that really believes in what he can do, running the football and passing it down the field, and I love the weapons he has on the outside. So I'm going to continue to ride this Eagles train until I see something different. I just think they're playing great football right now.
Last one in Tier 1, best action of the weekend. Bengals at the Ravens. Baltimore, I would have bet against this. Baltimore has lost 5 straight at home by a total of 12 points. So they're in all the games. They just haven't won at home, which is shocking. We know that the Bengals just torched them last time they were there last season. You like Joe B over Lamar? What you got?
Yeah, that's a big-time AFC North matchup, and I've been involved with a lot of those. It's normally not many handshakes and high-fives and helping people off the dirt in games like this. These teams just don't like each other, and the Bengals got the best of them last year, and there's a lot of banter going back and forth. Obviously, they got Lamar back in this, but, man, I got to ride Joey B. I picked him to represent the AFC. I can't go against that right now. So, yeah, we're riding with Joey B every week, man.
Opening hour every Football Friday brought to you by Angel Oak Home Loans, angeloakhomeloans.com. Contact our guy, Ryan Schimpf. Look, if you're buying a home, you need a loan, Angel Oak Home Loans can help you out. If you need to refinance your home for whatever reason that may be, Angel Oak Home Loans can help you out with that. A lot of times, it may be a tough loan, whether you're an investor, you're self-employed, and you can't find a loan. Angel Oak has got some solutions for you. You can go on Facebook and find our guy Ryan Schimpf or ryanschimpf.com. Of course, former Tiger and Major Leaguer. They bring you the opening hour each and every Friday. That is Angel Oak Home Loans. We'll come back. Quick preview of Saints and Seahawks, our SEC gambling picks coming up at the top of the hour. It's a Football Friday edition of Hunt and Hill.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill.
Start NFL Week 4 off right with the No Sweat Same Game Parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. You'll get free bets back if your Thursday night Same Game Parlay doesn't hit. NFL Same Game Parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance for an even bigger payday.
And on Sunday, if you're looking at the black and gold, they are 5.5-point favorite. If you want to bet against the black and gold because you're mad at them or you think they're not any good, you can get plus 205 coming back with Geno Smith. And the Seahawks over-under on the game is 46.5. You can build your own same-game parlay or choose one of the popular pre-built same-game parlays for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NFL on Thursday night with a no-sweat same-game parlay. Sign up with the promo code 1045ESPN if you don't already have an account. If you already have FanDuel, you're all set. Sign up and see what you've got. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and present in Louisiana. 3 legs minimum. $1 bet required. Refund issues and non-withdrawable free bets. Expires 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. You're somebody who has a gambling problem. What's help? Call 1-877-770-STOP.
If you're a small business owner, you've probably noticed how the big banks like to force you into one-size-fits-all.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
As a community bank, B1 Bank invests in relationships with the people and businesses we proudly represent. Our B1 bankers are here to help simplify the complicated, understand your needs, and make managing your finances easier. At B1 Bank, we offer an array of solutions to help simplify your transaction needs. B1 Bank, one highly personal banking experience. Visit us online at b1bank.com for more information.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Inviting you to join us for a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Previewing LSU, Tennessee, Saints, Seahawks. Phil Steele joins us. The Riot Radio Hours. Be there, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Football Friday opening hour brought to you by Angel Oak Home Loans. Quick thumbnail on the Saints and Seahawks here, Jeremy. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. I don't find it as a must-win because there are a million other games to play and you can win them all and you can be just fine. Obviously, the likelihood of that happening is not very good. For me, though, if we're sitting in this chair on Monday and the Saints have lost a game 20-10 and they can't move the ball in Seattle's defense, you'll know the offense is inept. I mean, I'm willing to give them a little bit of a pass last week because Michael Thomas and Kamara were not there. Jarvis is nursing an injury. Andy's first game playing. I understand that Michael Thomas is probably not going to play. It sounds like Kamara will. But if you can't move the ball on Seattle, your prospects for doing so moving forward are not any good.
No, it's bad. And we've seen the Seahawks defense give up a lot of points this year. And when they've kind of gone against bad offense, obviously they've been in games, but they're not world beaters. And I think for the Saints, this is a perfect opportunity at home. Looking at Seattle's defense, they're actually the second to last defense in the NFL. You got to move the ball. I mean, there's just no excuse this week. I mean, even if Thomas is out of the lineup, you're hearing buzz right now. Chris Olave, Rookie of the Year. Like, you got weapons on this team. If you do have Kamara back, I think there's that. You kind of can times that times too. So yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to get back to winning ways. Not starting off the season 1-4. If you're the Saints, you can't let this home game slip away.
And it's just Seattle has played a couple of good games, but now we understand that win over Denver means absolutely nothing because the Broncos are terrible. And look, Atlanta went across the country and beat them. So they're not very good. They're better than we thought. They're playing hard, and Geno Smith statistically is far better than we figured that he would be after sitting on the bench for half a decade. But they're not good. And so the Saints defense has been good enough. Even though Jefferson got going a little bit last week, like that happens. It wasn't like they gave up a ton of points. They gave up some plays, and they couldn't get to stop them. They needed too late and allowed the field goal. But the Saints defense I expect to be good on Sunday, and I don't think Seattle is going to score 30 points in this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's a perfect situation if you're the Saints offense. They've given up 115 points in 4 games. I'm not a mathematician, but something tells me that's not very good of your NFL defense. And so you figure you got matchups on the outside. You can get Kamara going. When you're going against a bad defense, it's pretty much you just stick to your identity. It's not like you got to make some crazy fancy game plan and, oh, my God, we're just so worried about this edge rusher and worried about this guy. We got to look out. No, they don't have those guys on that defense. So defensively, you got to put, Lattimore on DK. That's going to be a big-time matchup. If you can slow him down and Lattimore can slow him down, no, not the best weeks, but you're going against Jets. I mean, it's good. Jets go to Jets. He's got a gritty on everybody. So can't worry about that one. But this week, if you're Lattimore, you got to step up, play big. Kind of, he does good against these big-time receivers. He's taller.
Yeah, that's
weapons.
The point. Like, it's just one thing. We're all going back to Mike Evans, but it's the same body type. Now, look, I think if they ran a 40-yard dash, DK would smoke Mike Evans. But Jets is just a different dude than those guys. He's so sudden, so quick, and Lattimore couldn't get his hands on him. He'll get his hands on DK. Now, he may get pushed right back, and he may get run by every once in a while, but I like the matchup better.
Yeah, no, I definitely do. And he does match up against those taller receivers because he is a physical cornerback and, he can run. And so, going against DK with Geno at quarterback, like, man, if you're the Saints, man, you just got to slow these guys down. I think if they can hold this, this defense can hold the Seahawks offense to under 21. I think that opens the door wide open for you to, kind of go in there. You don't have to beat these guys by 20 or beat them by double digits. You just got to win at home, hold serve, and get to the next week and feeling good about winning a football game. And I think, everyone in New Orleans is desperate to see that. I can't have my man Sharif on here about to cry and have a heart attack.
He's already texted me. He's going to be so salty on Tuesday, even if the Saints win by 30, because it's Bengals week, and he's so mad at all the fake Bengals fans like me that are going to be pulling for the Bengals this week and living in Louisiana. Moscona hates them. Sharif hates them. I'm right here, people. At me on Twitter. But one thing you do know about Sunday, the Saints crowd is going to show up. I've always appreciated that. We're in there in Tiger Stadium for every game, and when they play, McNeese or, New Mexico is not exactly on fire in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Saints only get 8 home games a year, and when you look at it and you realize that they're all big games because it's the NFL and everybody's good, it's always a really good environment. So the Saints, even though they have a bad start and they're in a little bit of trouble right now, they're going to have a great home field advantage on Sunday. It's just a matter of playing a good football game. If the Saints bring their B-plus game on Sunday, they'll win by a score.
Yeah, most definitely. I think at this point in the season, it's not like you're 1-9 or you're 3-12, and it's like, okay, guys, like we're toast.
You're right in it.
Like you're one game back or a game and a half back of first place in your conference and really or in your division, and that's really all you want to do. You want to win your division. That's every team's goal to start the year. You want to be in the division. You want to have a home playoff game, and the Saints are right there to do that. Just got to win this week.
Professional golfers John Peterson, JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studio podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com. We're going to take a time out for SportsCenter. We're going to come back. We got our SEC gambling picks. I am in a serious rut right now, but my picks are fire for this week. I love the board. Come back with us after SportsCenter. It's Hunt and Hill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
And Ascension Parish Tourism Commission.
Bayou Ford powers the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Watch us live daily. Find what you missed on demand and subscribe to each show's channel to get notified when we go live or new videos arrive. Plus, discover exclusive YouTube broadcasts you can't find anywhere else. From AFR to OTB. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via...
And happy baseball postseason to you. And things are off to a good start in Cleveland for the Guardians.
Center field deep. Siri back to the wall, and it is gone! What an answer! Jose Ramirez, a two-run homer to put the Guardians in the lead, 2-1 here in the sixth inning.
And that is the final. The call from Dave O'Brien here on ESPN Radio as Cleveland takes Game 1. Meanwhile, nationally, Game 1 in St. Louis, Cardinals and Phillies heading to the fourth inning now, scoreless, and that one is on ABC and, of course, the ESPN app. Coming up 4 Eastern on ESPN and here on ESPN Radio. By the way, the Cardinals and Phillies are on the ESPN Radio as well. It'll be 4 o'clock, Mariners and Blue Jays from Toronto. All games on radio.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Eric Kendricks, 8-year linebacker with the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's ride.
I don't want you to say that. Yeah. Get more from the guys Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
1, 2, 3. Hunt and Hill. Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, holding down the middle of the day. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, it's Hunt and Hill. Now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Football Friday edition of Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. I want to get you ready for the schedule tomorrow. Things have changed a little bit, so listen up for our schedule over here at Guarantee. Of course, kickoff is at 11 o'clock tomorrow. 7 o'clock from right here in studio, Eagle 98.1 Game Day with Charles Handegriff and Matt Musso. 7 o'clock, so only 4 hours before game time. 7 o'clock, they'll fire it up for 2 hours. They'll hand off to the network. That's where I'll take over on the LSU Sports Radio Network for LSU Game Day, presented by 3 Olives Vodka. We will be between the ramps of the Assembly Center from 9 a.m. to 10:30. That's when we'll throw it inside the stadium for the broadcast of the game. 30 minutes after it goes final, you'll have us, it's Marlon Favorite, Brandon Taylor, and myself on the Fighting Tiger postgame report. We will go for an hour. 90 minutes after the game goes final, Eagle 98.1 Game Day fires up with Charles Handegriff and Jeremy Hill from Rouse's after the game for 3 whole hours. So 90 minutes after it goes final, they'll have it. So we'll start up at 7 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be with you for a good chunk of the day. It'll be a busy one on campus there for LSU and Tennessee. Busy one in the conference. Not a single non-conference game to discuss. We just got SEC football, Jeremy, and I got to tell you, I think our picks are going to be very different this week, and I am going undefeated. This is going to be a 6-0 week for your boy. We'll see what you think. I'll let you pick first every game, and I'll tell you what my pick is because they are already locked in, and I'm bouncing back. I've had 2 terrible weeks in a row. 2 weeks ago, I went 1-7-1. Last week, I went 1-4. That's not good at all. We got to get it going, but we're both tied right now with our picks for the season. And we're both, I believe, one game over 500. Let's look at the standing. Yeah, I don't have it. But I think we're one game over 500, both of us, and we're tied. So we'll see. Separates the men from the boys here this weekend. We'll start with the 11 o'clock slate outside of the LSU game. Arkansas headed to Mississippi State. No KJ Jefferson for the Hogs, it appears. State is laying 9 in this game against Arkansas. Who you got?
Ah, man, this is a tough one. No KJ, though. But that run game, they could get that run game going. They still got Sanders back there.
He's been great.
That's a lot of points.
9 is a lot.
Give me Arkansas. I got Arkansas on that one. Every time I just feel great about, Rodgers, this, and that. Like, I think they're going to run it down Mississippi State's throat. And even without KJ back there, and Mississippi State may win that, but 9's a healthy number. So give me the Razorbacks.
Look, Dwight McGloughlin's been really good for them. 3 interceptions early in his Arkansas career. I can't say I'm pulling too hard for him, but he's playing very well. I just think State is solid. They're at home. I think Arkansas's got to be a little bit dejected with the way that the games have gone the last 2 weeks with A&M and Arkansas. You don't have your leader in KJ Jefferson, who's been back there for you for 2 years. I think it gets away from him. I think State executes really well, and they chop him up, and I think they win comfortably, so I will lay the 9 points there. Another 11 o'clock game. Missouri is at Florida. The Gators are laying 11 points in this one in the Swamp.
11. Yeah, they were at home. That was like the game of the century for them. I think this is a huge,
Missouri? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a huge letdown. And AR, man, he's going to light that Missouri defense up. So give me Florida, man. I'm pushing Napier this week. I think Florida can cover that 11. I'll take the Gators.
Missouri, for 2 weeks, has been decent on defense. They held Auburn without a single point in the second half, and they played Georgia straight up last week and did a pretty good job on defense. They had 9 tackles for loss in that game. They stink. They're a bad team. Their coach is probably getting fired, and they're not going to win much this year. But I'll take the 11 points on the road. Scrappy, early morning, just find a way, and maybe AR turns it over and plays one of those games where he can't do anything, which is not what he did in Knoxville. But maybe he struggles, and I get by with it. I will take the 11 points with Missouri. I told you I thought we were going to be very, very different this week. We're different in both the early games that we talked about there. CBS, nice selection there. Georgia and Auburn on between the hedges over there in Athens. 29.5 is the number. Dogs have been asleep for 2 weeks.
I think they stay asleep. I think that's a lot of points. I'll take Ashford in the crew. I like the little jump I saw from Ashford. Now we need Harsin to chill on the 4th and 10 going forward. Got to relax on that. But that Auburn defense was a little sneaky last week. You hold a team to 5 yards in the second half. I know it's our Tigers, but that's kind of impressive to me. And so, not saying they're great or they're world beaters, but that's just so many points, man. And I don't like what I've seen from Georgia these past 2 weeks. So, give me Harsin. Who would have thought it? I'd be picking Harsin in a game this season, but I am. Here I am.
In the last 8 games against the Power 5, Auburn in the second half is averaging 2.6 points per game in the second half in the last 8. That is beyond atrocious. But give me Auburn. I'm right there with you. Give me the points. 29.5. Lose by 4 touchdowns. I cover. Come on, Auburn. Let's go. War Eagle. Harsin, baby. Just waiting on that buyout check. Here we go. That's a 2:30 game. At 3 o'clock, Ole Miss headed to Nashville to play Vanderbilt. 17 is your number.
That's not too bad for my man Lane. I think got his dog the NIL deal, feeling good. The stadium looked good last week. People showed up to the game last week, so Lane's in a great mood, man. And I don't know, I had to put the doors back down at 14. Maybe we go 13 for our power rankings next week. But yeah, give me that 17. Let's go, Lane. Let's get it. We gotta get this record right. Come on, Lane. I got my Rebels right here.
You got the Revs. You're laying the 17.
Yeah.
Vandy's coming off a bye. Got old Clark Lee's got a chance to look at some film.
Don't do it.
It's going to be a sleepy environment in Nashville. Vanderbilt will have no fans there. Ole Miss will probably have 10,000. They'll have like 60. They'll have 20,000 empty seats in the stadium. Look, I think Vandy, they've covered 6 out of 9. Give me the doors in the 17. It's a big win for Ole Miss last week. They win against a home game against Kentucky. They're headed to Auburn next week.
Oh, goodness.
Or no, they got Auburn coming to Vaught Hemingway next week, I believe. Let me take those 17 points with the doors. I love to see it. We're different on that one. 6:30 kickoff. South Carolina headed to Lexington, Kentucky. Probably no Will Levis. That number has dipped. It was in double digits now. Kentucky -6.5.
Oh, yeah. Kentucky. Yeah. I like that number. Yeah, I think Rodriguez is probably going to get 40 carries this week. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, they gave him 19 in his first game back last week. And so I think this week they're going to up that number a little bit. You don't have to worry about him not getting any carries. And I think that's just bad news for South Carolina. I think that Kentucky defense is well coached. They play well. I think they played well enough last week to win the game, and they still find a way to choke the ball with turnovers this week. So I got the Kentucky Wildcats. I think they can definitely cover that 6.5.
You're not scared of Spencer Rattler and his 4 touchdowns to 7 interception ratio that he's got this year? You're not scared of that?
I love it for my pick. So, yeah, give me the Wildcats.
That's my Rattler. I got South Carolina, baby. Give me the points. Kentucky is the worst running team in the SEC, and they're starting a freshman quarterback. Give me the points. Beamer ball. I love South Carolina. I'm rolling this week. This is going to be an undefeated week for me. And we go with the nightcap. Texas A&M headed to Tuscaloosa. Haynes the King taking snaps for A&M. Bama minus 24 in this one.
If it was 48, I'd probably take Alabama.
I knew you were going to do it.
Look, I just can't. I can't, guys. Look, I know I'm like kicking the little brothers when they're on the ground. They got a runny nose. They're sneezing. They're coughing. Everything's just going bad. Guess what? I'm going to throw my little kick in there, too. So why not? The Aggies stink, and I don't think they're going to do anything on offense, and Alabama's going to run it down their throat. Remember, I told you guys this. Give me the tie.
Give me the points, baby.
Oh,
give me the points. No Bryce Young in this one. They're going to run the ball. The clock's going to be moving. Haynes King, Jimbo's not even going to let him throw the ball. He's going to run it. The clock's going to be moving. Aggie defense is okay. Alabama's playmakers are not been great. Give me the points with the Aggies. They're going to cover this thing. They're going to lose by like 20, 17 points. It'll never be competitive. Give me the points. I got rich very, very metaphorically on this game. Taking all the favorites the first few weeks. I'm going against everything. I'm taking points everywhere. I'm landing with Mississippi State. Give me points with I got A&M, I got South Carolina, I got Auburn, I got Missouri. These are the worst teams in the league. They're getting too many points. Give them to me. I'm going undefeated this week. This is going to be a 6-0 week. What do you think of my strategy? What do you think about me taking Missouri, Arkansas with no quarterback, Auburn, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and A&M with no quarterback?
Look, the thing about these bad teams is if everything is going right, yeah, they can cover by 1 point. But if they just play their brand of football, if they make it their face blown off the face of the universe. So
look,
I'm not
you're sleeping on Clark Lee and the Commodores.
They hit the total.
Ole Miss is going to roll up there. They don't want to be there. They were all probably drunk on Broadway Street because they know they're going to win the game. They don't care about this. There's nobody in the stadium.
No, they shut the Grove down, so they were good. Everyone's in bed by like 9 o'clock.
I've seen that stadium. There's nobody in it. There's going to be a red and blue section of like 10,000 people. Nobody from Vanderbilt wants to be there to watch this. It's going to be the sleepiest environment. The Doors are going to come in there, lose by 16, lose by 10. It'll be wonderful.
Look, well, next week's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot different. Someone's going to be doing really well. Someone's going to be doing really bad.
The question is, Casey, do we have the ability to cut this audio up for next week? Like, if we do, okay. Well, we may have to. We'll see how things go. But we got this all on tape. We may revisit it for a whole segment on Monday's show. I just could not love the board anymore this week. I feel like I have aced it. And if you want to get into an investment strategy, the economy's not doing exactly what you want, get on this train. I'll show you how to get some money. Go to the FanDuel Sportsbook and bet all these games. Take Missouri, Auburn, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and A&M. Literally the worst teams in the league, and you'll be fine. That's my strategy for the weekend. Just give me the points. Except Arkansas. I think they're in trouble. All right, that's our SEC picks segment. A little bit different in hour 2 this week. Chris Budden is going to join us. She's going to be on the sideline for LSU and Tennessee tomorrow. They are meeting with the LSU coaches as of 1 o'clock, so we think she'll be out of there by 2:30. So we're going to chat with her at 2:30 before our final pick at 2:45. So that means in the next segment, we're going to play a little bit of Take It or Leave It. It's a Football Friday edition of Hunt and Hill.
Hold down the middle of the day. This is Hunt and Hill.
Always thrilled to tell you about. I lost my live read sheet. Somebody tell me what we got. We got
One Bath
and Closets. Always thrilled to tell you about our friends at One Bath and Closets. David Duvall been in the business for 3 decades, redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. One Bath and Closets. They're licensed contractors. They can knock out walls. They can improve your space that you have. Or if you just want to use the space you have a little bit more efficiently, One Bath and Closets is your spot. If you call David and his crew and tell them that Hunt and Hill sent you over to One Bath and Closets, Closets, you'll get 30% off of your closet remodel. That's 30% off. You don't have to up and move and spend a bunch of money to have a better bathroom and closet setup. No, just let One Bath and Closets optimize your current space. They'll start you off with a questionnaire. Sometimes it's better off if the men leave when they ask how many pairs of shoes you got and what kind of clothing you've got. But at that point, they will understand what your process is going to be, and they will customize it for you. And look, they're not going to be coming back 2 weeks later to fix problems. They don't take any shortcuts. They'll do it right the first time and leave the competition behind. It is One Bath and Closets. Check out the website, onebathandclosets.com.
Have you heard of NAD IV therapy? This is a very...
I am Juliet, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis. But I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother, and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Riot Radio Hours. Be there, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Little Major League Baseball wild card update scoreboard. The Guardians beat Tampa 2-1 up in Cleveland. Shane Bieber was really good for Cleveland. McClanahan was great for the Rays, but a 2-1 win for the Indians. Scoreless in St. Louis between the Phillies and the Cardinals. I believe Aaron Nola on the bump today, so go get them, Phils. Anybody but the Cardinals. That's the battle cry, Jeremy. Anybody but the Cardinals. That is not Aaron, is it?
No,
that is not Aaron.
I think they got Wheeler on
Wheeler
the bump.
going today, so I guess Aaron will go tomorrow. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch there for the Phils, who have a really good offense. Anybody but the Cardinals. That's always the motto, Jeremy. All right, got things a little bit disjointed today, but we're going to get into a rhythm here. Chris Budden is going to join us. She is ESPN sideline reporter for the game tomorrow. Bob Wischusen and Dan Orlovsky will be in the booth, and Chris will be roaming the sidelines. We'll talk with her in 15 minutes. Just got done with LSU's coaches, which should be great. So first, let's do some Take It or Leave It.
Alrighty here. Thursday Night Football last night ended up with both teams not scoring a touchdown, which led to Al Michaels apologizing to the viewing audience, saying it burns the retinas watching that brand of football. Are you taking or leaving? Commentators should be apologizing for sleepy football games.
I love it. I didn't know he did that. I'll take it all day. That was fantastic. Look, you gotta get your Amazon Prime rolling. You gotta figure out your way to watch it, and then you turn it on, and nobody scores a touchdown. People made fun of Auburn and Mississippi State. They still make fun of him for that 3-2 game they played many moons ago. Apparently, last night was atrocious. I did not watch a play of it. That's just not something that's going to occupy much of my Thursday night. And it did not appear to be very good. There got to be some issues in Denver right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, obviously that first game, you kind of thought something was weird. Like you run the entire clock out, then you kick a 60-something yard field goal, and then things just never pick back up. You got Mr. Unlimited telling everyone, let's ride, let's ride.
Is Hackett in trouble?
Oh, yeah. He doesn't have skins on the wall, man. Like, that dude has nothing. I've seen coaches get fired after one season. So, yeah, like, he can be on the chopping block. They just paid Russell $200+ million. Like, no, we need production. We need offense. Like you can't do that. Like,
Cam
no
Cameron
way.
got fired in Miami after 1 year, but, you realize, he had Cleo Lemon as his quarterback, and they weren't good. I mean, you got Russell Wilson. I'm not saying he's playing very well, but, he's supposed to be pretty good. And so – that was a tough look on that last play when the guy's running wide open in the back of the end zone, and then he doesn't get the ball and he slams his helmet and starts screaming.
Yeah, no, you never want to see that. And it's just, Russell hasn't been playing well, and he's throwing interceptions, and got my man Sherman tweeting during the game, this reminds me of something, and yeah, it's just not good.
I'll tell a quick story that no one cares about, but it's what it reminded me of when I saw the highlight of the Broncos. For those that didn't see it, Broncos receiver runs a slant on the last play of the game. He is wide open, and Russ never looks at him. And if he throws it to him, it's a game-winning touchdown. And after the play's over, the wide receiver takes his helmet off, slams it on the ground, and just starts screaming. And it brought me back to a 7th grade basketball game I played where we got crushed, absolutely crushed. And there's one guy on our team that a little bit of a hothead, little competitive, and a little vocal. And there's another guy on the team that he wasn't best friends with. And we're down 20 in a 7th grade game, which is just a massive amount. And at the end of the game, nobody's really trying. The ball goes down to one of our players, and he's on the side of the court by himself. There's no one there. He misses a layup, gets the ball again, and misses a second layup as the clock runs out. And the buzzer goes off, and we lose. And I can still hear this clear as day. He was standing right next to me, and he screams out to his teammate in what is now a quiet gym after the buzzer, "You suck!" Just screamed at him. And that's what I thought of when the Broncos receiver just started screaming at the end of the game and they lost. It was a classic.
Man. Yeah, I wish I should have sent it to Sharp, but there's a Sports Illustrated posted on their Instagram last night, and Melvin Gordon, their running back's giving Russell the most evil, dirty look you've ever seen. He's this menacing look, dude, what the heck are you doing at quarterback right now? Just bad for the Broncos.
Zach Buckley of Bleacher Report made a list of one player from each NBA team that should be a trade candidate. Devontae Graham from the Pelicans being one of them, said the return of Zion Williamson is going to shrink Graham's minutes. Pell should move on from Devontae Graham. Take it or leave it.
I think at this point you can. I think going into last season when you did sign him, you picked up C.J. McCollum. Now that kind of guard role that can score the ball and score from the outside and inside, you kind of have that field. Now Zion's coming back in the lineup. If I'm the Pels, maybe you can get a 3-and-D guy. To me, you can never run out of those guys in the NBA. Maybe you get a package together, get one of those guys. But, yeah, I think this season, you probably don't need Devontae Graham in that lineup. All right, you're going to love this one. 5 former LSU Tigers are going to participate in the MLB playoff this season. DJ LeMahieu, Kevin Gausman, Alex Bregman, both of the NOLA bros, getting opportunities to win a World Series. Are you taking or leaving LSU as the only case to be mentioned as MLBU?
Sure, I'll take it. Why not? Look, we're going to have some guys playing in the MLB in the next 6 or 7 years because yesterday it was something to watch. Hit 7 home runs, had 3 guys touch 97 miles an hour. It was a scene out there, but those guys were all really, really good. Pulmonary had some pretty good players. Pulling for those guys. None of them play for the Cardinals, which is a good start. So, yeah, I'm pulling for all of them. Hope they all do very, very well. Look, LSU is well represented in Major League Baseball, and I think one of the cool things about LSU is they've got that locker room for the pros to come back and use. I think football could maybe take a page out of that. I mean, a lot of guys come back and work out here?
Not anymore. We'll talk about that another time.
But, I mean, for the pros to come back before spring training and work out is really cool, and it's a good opportunity for guys. If you're going to bring in guys like Dylan Cruz.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star
And that, like, if you want to play for France and get your brain beat in and have no chance of winning gold, then yeah, go ahead. Go try to play with Rudy Gobert.
French gave us some issues a few years ago.
Yeah, they had what's the kid? It's the guy. He's on the Knicks now. They have him.
Yeah,
I can't. He's a shooter. They got some guys, but they're just guys. Like, you got superstars on the USA team. Like, if we bring our guys, like, there's just nothing you can do about it. Like, normally guys are sitting out, COVID, all that stuff happening, all that stuff, but if we bring the boys, man, just look out. It's just hand them the goal. Just
one of my most enjoyable sports watching memories over the years, just in a vacuum, was in 2008 when they put the Redeem team together. We had not won the gold in 2 consecutive Olympics. They sent freaking Stephon Marbury over there. Like, it was just ridiculous. And they got everybody together with that one team in 08, and it was Chris Paul and Kobe and LeBron, and it was just an absolutely ridiculous team. And I was moving into my apartment as a junior, and I had 2 weeks that I'd moved in where school hadn't started. So I was waking up at 3 a.m. to watch them play, over in Beijing, and they were a freight train. And Spain was good. They had Ricky Rubio, who's real young, the Gasol brothers. They had some dudes. And they gave us a run for it in the gold medal game. Argentina was decent. They still had Ginobili and some of those guys. But international basketball is sometimes fun. It's fun to be the Monstar sometimes, where you just have all the dudes, and you just. I don't want that every single time I'm watching my sports, but every once in a while to watch your team just be way better is fun.
Yeah, no, I think definitely you got to think if we're sending the hit squad out there, you got Kevin Durant and some of the guys, Steph Curry playing. It's just, what are you gonna do with that? Like, just give them the gold medal and get going to the next Olympics.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, Casey? Can we take phone calls here in the next segment? Oh, no, not the next segment, because we got Chris. So we'll do it. We're going to give away tickets to Arena Cross in the last segment of the show. So we'll take a quick time out here, and we will get to Chris Budden of ESPN. It's a Football Friday edition of Hunt and Hill.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill.
Start NFL Week 5 off right with the No Sweat Same Game Parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. You'll get free bets back if your Thursday night Same Game Parlay doesn't hit. NFL Same Game Parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance for an even bigger payday.
Look, I'm looking at the FanDuel Sportsbook now. I gave you the Saints odds in hour number 1. I'll flip things over to the LSU side of things. LSU and Tennessee, the line on it right now is 3. Tigers catching 3 at home. On the money line, if you're feeling frisky with the Tigers to win the ball game, plus 126 on the FanDuel Sportsbook, so check that out. In terms of the NFL same-game parlay stuff, you can build your own, or you can choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NFL on Thursday nights and Sundays with a no-sweat same-game parlay. Just sign up with the promo code 1045. If you don't already have an account, if you do have a FanDuel account, you're all set. Just sign in to see what you've got. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 and present in Louisiana. 3 legs. Minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued is non-withdrawable free bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you're somebody who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Professional golfers John Peterson and JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there. What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time.
NFL is back. Our coverage starts Sunday at 10 a.m. with Magnolia Bluffs Football Sunday with Jimmy Ott, immediately followed by the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers at noon, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Early kickoff in Baton Rouge tomorrow, LSU and Tennessee, 11 o'clock from inside Tiger Stadium. They'll leave College Game Day and bring it into Death Valley. And in the booth, it'll be Bob Wischusen and Dan Orlovsky. Roaming the sidelines, it'll be Chris Budden. Chris joins us now on the phone line. Chris, thanks so much for your time. How are you?
Hey, doing good. Excited to be in Baton Rouge. It's been a long time.
Yeah, there's a buzz in town now. Obviously, 2019 going the way it was. There was no buzz in 2020 with COVID and LSU not playing very well. And then last year, things got off to a bit of a rocky start. Obviously, there was a coaching change, and the air was kind of let out of the balloon. But this feels like a big game. Do you have that sense?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you saw that it was sold out previously, starting, I think, on Tuesday when they announced it. Also, I think there's a different buzz also when you add in Tennessee. They haven't been here since 2010. It's amazing that you can go 12 years in this conference and a school hasn't been. And so even on my flight this morning, I mean, tons of fans, a ton of orange actually on my flight coming in here. So I do think you sense a different buzz. And if you think about it, like, you're just a couple plays away from this being an undefeated versus undefeated matchup.
One blocked extra point away, to be specific. So I'm curious, we'll get to LSU in a second, but you met with the Tennessee staff and some of their players, and they have just been not what Tennessee expects for 15 years now. And all of a sudden you've got a quarterback who's playing at an unbelievable level. Is there a sense in that Tennessee program that they're on the best footing that they've been on in a decade and a half?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a school that I covered a ton. I got there in 2008, worked in local news for 6 years. And 2008, when they fired Philip Fulmer, was the start of the downfall. And Lane Kiffin had one good season and then left. And then after that, it was just coach after coach. And so there was this, are we ever going to get back their feel around Tennessee? And then Tennessee plays great a year ago. And you wonder, okay, what are the expectations? Because a lot of times at Tennessee, it's, oh, my gosh, we're back. But for the first time around that fan base, I felt tempered expectations. And I don't know that coming into the season they thought that it would be this good. But when you watch Hendon Hooker and this offense, it is warp speed, and you just wonder, how do they stop it? I mean, Hendon hasn't thrown an interception all year, 11 touchdowns, it's 78% completion percentage. And when you watch it, it looks so easy and seamless for them on the offensive side of the ball. Florida gave them fits at times, but you wonder, could this be a trip game? They got Alabama coming into Neyland Stadium next week, so it'll be a good matchup down here in Baton Rouge.
I'm so curious with Hendon Hooker. I mean, we did just see Joe Burrow down here, who Ohio State deemed not to be their starter, so he transferred here, and we know the rest of that story. Virginia Tech kind of gave up on Hendon Hooker, and then last year, Josh Heupel picked another quarterback in Milton to be the starter before Hooker eventually took over. Now he's playing better than anybody. What kind of story is this?
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic human being, first of all, and every person on his offense raves about the human being that he is, that wanting to play well for him. I also think that, listen, when it's your job, and it's a difficult playbook to learn, it's a difficult system to learn. So you're not the guy when you start, last season, and then you become that guy. Then you get an entire off season to not just delve into your playbook, to really go back and look at what the defenses were showing you. When I talked to him this week, that's where I really felt like I could grow. Now that I don't have to think about our plays. I can focus so much more on the looks that we're getting on the other side, and it's allowed me to process information faster. But I mean, he was also, even though they maybe gave up on him at Virginia Tech, we saw this kind of no interception streak out of him in Blacksburg. But it's just been this very smooth calmness out of him.
A lot of happy campers in South Bend when Coach Kelly took the job here at LSU. But what do you make of the job he's done so far with this new revamped roster?
Yeah, I think that it's hard every time you make a coaching change, right? There's a reason that the regime didn't work before, and players are used to doing a certain thing, a certain style. This is how we did things for X amount of years, and to be the coach that comes in and says, nope, we're not doing it this way anymore, because that way didn't work. That's why the coach isn't here anymore. There can always be ruffled feathers. It feels like around this team that people are completely buying in to what Brian Kelly is wanting to do here. It's not a lack of talent. It is a lack of, how do you phrase it? Practicing right and the attention to details, all the small things that go to winning championships that weren't taught or done correctly over the last couple of years are now at the front and center and more noticeable under his system. And so you got to fix those things before you can really start, changing an entire program. And this week it starts with, how do we change the passing game?
Chatting with Chris Budden here of ESPN. She'll be on the sidelines tomorrow for the game between LSU and Tennessee. You can also catch her on Sirius XM Radio. You mentioned the passing game. I've been curious to see how Brian Kelly handles the media. Every coach is a little bit different. We've seen a lot of them come and go throughout the different sports here in Baton Rouge. And when he says something on Monday and Thursday, generally speaking, we've seen it on Saturday, whether it was get the ball to Kayshon Boutte. Next week it happened. Get Jack Besh more involved. And he harped a lot this week on they got to throw the ball down the field. You've talked to the coaching staff. Do you expect to see LSU throw the football down the field on Saturday?
I mean, I guess so, but I think week after week we keep thinking he's going to get the ball to Boutte, and for whatever reason we don't. I will say this, we just met with him, and he had an interesting comment. He said, Jaden has not thrown an interception. Sometimes that's a bad thing because it's someone who's not willing to take risk, and I don't need him to be perfect. He wants to play perfect, and I need him to not be that way because sometimes you're going to have to fit the ball into small windows, and you have to be okay with that. Another interesting point that he noted was the numbers of first quarter and third quarter versus second quarter and fourth quarter are very different. For whatever reason, once he gets into a rhythm, once he stops overthinking, he plays a lot better. And one example that he gave us is if you look at the numbers when he snaps the ball with over 15 seconds left on the play clock. I mean, he's just playing faster, he's playing in a rhythm. Numbers are much better than when he lets it dwindle down. He's overthinking, not taking the right looks, the right reads, and, he starts to question, should I go here, should I go here? And he just needs to stop being in his own head and just take what he sees.
I've observed Brian Kelly from afar for a long time over at Notre Dame, and he got a reputation of being kind of hot-headed on the sidelines, the purple face, and he comes down here, and obviously he's got a nice paycheck that he's working with here in a long-term contract. But I've been kind of amazed at how comfortable and cool and calm that he's been on the sidelines, in the press room, joking all the time. Is that the kind of vibe you got from him sitting down, that he's very comfortable guy at this point?
Yeah, and it's funny because this is actually my first time covering him in person, and sometimes the people that you see up at the podium are different than they are in person, and sometimes I remember watching him on a podium, feeling like very stern, and he was very comfortable and very nice and very, sometimes coaches on a Friday before a game, the last thing they want to do is talk to you and can seem completely stressed and preoccupied, and he was wonderful. Seems really laid back. Watching him on a weekly basis at the podium, here in Baton Rouge, like he makes jokes, and those the part of those personality characters of him that I don't think that we really saw very much of at Notre Dame. So it's really nice to see that. I don't know, maybe it's a paycheck, maybe it's a fresh air, or he joked that he's lost all this weight because you can eat a lot more fish down here. So I don't know, maybe it's a different change of scenery, but he does seem to just kind of feel at ease and that he enjoys being down here.
Anytime you throw for 5 yards and a half, it's going to cause some cause for concern, especially for a lot of folks here in Baton Rouge. So do you think if Jaden kind of has one of those halves where the passing game isn't going, that Coach Kelly could potentially make a quarterback switch?
It doesn't feel that way. It feels like there is a respect there for Jaden. He calls this players only meeting with his wide receivers, that they want to get on the same page. And so I don't think that there is a quick hook. I think they know how to fix it, and they've pointed out to him here, like, this is what we're working on this week. We are going to work on you being more aggressive. And I don't think that after a quarter and a half, if it doesn't look good, that he's getting the quick hook.
Chatting with Chris Budden here on Hunt and Hill. I know you're a busy one with your radio obligations and flying across the country to do sideline work every single Saturday, but you're with Orlovsky, who I feel like is on my TV 47 hours a day, and the energy level is always off the charts. Is he like that all the time?
Yeah, he is. He is the biggest football nerd you'll ever meet. He just thrives on it. Like, he doesn't eat very much. He just, film watching is his nutrients, and that is how he survives just on football. He loves the game so much. He loves the intricate, really nerdy aspects of it, and it is his caffeine.
Well, Chris, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy your time in Baton Rouge and the football game. Safe travels home.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
That is Chris Budden from ESPN. She'll be on the sidelines tomorrow. I think Orlovsky does an awesome job. I think for those who aren't going to the game tomorrow and that'll be watching on TV, I think he is always spot on with his analysis. He knows the game. Played in the NFL a lot longer than you think. He played for 10 years in the NFL, and he knows the stuff. I think he'll do a great job.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. And I think it's kind of that Tony Romo-esque type of, insight that he has when you play quarterback at a high level. You kind of can see things coming. You see the coverages. You see the blitz packages. You kind of know all that stuff coming in. And all the quarterbacks I know, I kind of got to agree with that. That film watching is their nutrition. It's sunk into it like a Harry Potter book when you're a kid. So, yeah, you got to give Dan some credit there.
I want to talk a little bit more about Brian Kelly before we go to break. But first, let's remind you, if you've got a ton of energy and you've got the football game tomorrow morning and you still want to do something after the game is over, Mid-South Arena Cross, the greatest arena cross in the South, and SSR present the Battle on the Bayou. Bring your kids to this exhilarating, family-friendly event Saturday, October the 8th. That is tomorrow at Lamar Dixon. It all goes down at 7 o'clock. Register to win an SSR pit bike. For the full schedule, you can visit MidSouthArenaCross.com. Brought to you by SSR and Ascension Paris Tourism. We got tickets to Arena Cross tomorrow out at Lamar Dixon, 7 o'clock p.m. If you want a ticket, two tickets to Arena Cross, just be the first person to call right now. 499-1045 is the number. 499-1045. Just give Casey your name and number, and we will contact you. Make sure you get those tickets today for Arena Cross tomorrow. So give a call now, 499-1045. I mentioned to Chris there, Jeremy, about Brian Kelly, and I really feel like that is pretty authentic. I know that coaches get up there with the podium, and you can say whatever you want. I mean, this SEC teleconference is a snooze fest. It is cliche after cliche after cliche on speakerphone. The coaches don't care. It's boring. I really think that Brian Kelly is really comfortable here. I think he's driven to win a national championship. We saw today that he and his wife are putting up $1 million for a facility that they're putting up for LSU for recovery and performance, which obviously he's got a $100 million deal. Like he's got one to dish out. But I just think he's driven. It seems like he's working really hard. The recruiting class looks really good. But sometimes I see coaches get in here for a rebuild and they are just tight as can be, trying to get everything done in 5 seconds. He seems like a pretty comfortable guy. I guess a fat paycheck can help with that, but I don't think it's an act when he gets up there. I think he doesn't feel under attack at this point. He feels like he's going to be given his opportunity to get this thing right.
I think the best way to put it is he doesn't feel the pressure. I think when you look at the job he's done from program to program, winning at the lowest level, then going to Notre Dame and going to Cincinnati.
Grand Valley State.
Yeah, and doing all those things that way, the pressure's not there. Now, you get me to go play 18 holes of golf and you got some people watching, pull some cell phones out. Look, I may break my back trying to do that, but, on a football field, that pressure isn't as much. And I think for Coach Kelly, he knows exactly what it takes to kind of get a football program back on the national stage and winning football games, and he knows what it looks like. So seems like he's having a good time doing that, eating this good Louisiana seafood, and he's having a good time, so it's good to see.
Yeah, I didn't say the jokes were always great, and I think the one about he's eating more fish down here, that's why he's lost some weight. It's a decent line, but I don't think he's going to be challenging Seinfeld anytime soon for stand-up champion of the world. But I just, he's a guy, very candidly, and I think there's probably a lot of that. I pulled against him for 15 years because I don't like Notre Dame. I don't like that they think they're better than everybody. They got their own TV deal. They're not in a conference. I don't like that every caveat for the playoff has to say Power 5 and Notre Dame. I don't like Notre Dame. So he's the head coach there. I'm not going to pull for him. And then you look at him in a different lens, obviously, when he puts your colors on. A big game in the Superdome, obviously, that LSU didn't quite get to the finish line on, but a huge game inside Tiger Stadium, and curious to see how his team comes out and play. And we'll tell you how we think his team's going to come out and play, because our final pick for the New Orleans Saints versus Seattle Seahawks and LSU Tennessee are coming up next to finish up a Football Friday edition of Hunt and Hill.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
LWCC is Louisiana loyal. They are elevating and celebrating champions of Louisiana each and every month here on Hunt and Hill. All month long in October, we're telling you about Fresh Junkie Racing.
Yeah, Fresh Junkie Racing is a group of racing enthusiasts that have taken their love of running and built a business providing citizens across the state a way to get moving and stay moving. Created by athletes for athletes, Fresh Junkie Racing hosts world-class racing events and triathlons right here in Louisiana, welcoming crowds from across the globe to experience this place we call home.
Look, we know how much they do in the racing side of things. They have 18 events every single year. There are some coming up that we'll let you know about. But the Louisiana Marathon alone contributes $5.2 million in economic impact to our great state, and that's all due to Fresh Junkie Racing. If you're looking to get involved in a race, the Huey P. Long Bridge Run is coming up next Saturday, October the 15th from 8 to 11. And look, I got my test results back, and they're not great, obviously, on the medical side of things. Maybe instead of frying a turkey on Thanksgiving, I can get out there for the Baton Rouge Turkey Trot and the Tammany Turkey Trot as well on Thanksgiving morning. Both of those start up at 8 o'clock in Baton Rouge and in Covington. So if you want to get involved in that, you certainly can. Fresh Junkie making an impact on people's fitness and their health. They're also making a huge impact on our economy as a state. So Fresh Junkie Racing, this month's champion of Louisiana, presented by LWCC. LWCC is Louisiana loyal.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted.
With so many companies hiring right now,
It's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Previewing LSU, Tennessee, Saints, Seahawks. Phil Steele joins us. The Riot Radio Hours. Be there, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If you missed any of the show today, you can catch it on demand, 1045ESPN.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Open things up, talking LSU and Tennessee for about 30 minutes. Went through our NFL tiers as usual, talk Saints and Seahawks at the end of hour 1. SEC gambling picks at the top of hour number 2, along with Take It or Leave It. And thanks to Chris Budden for jumping by. Enjoyed her conversation. She'll be on the call on the sideline tomorrow for LSU and Tennessee. We have reached the end of the road here on a Football Friday. That means it's time for our final pick. But first, we'll start with the Saints and Seahawks.
New Orleans Saints. The Seattle Seahawks. Final pick.
I'll start here, Jeremy. The Saints have some pieces, and it just hasn't worked out. We just got word that Michael Thomas is not going to play. Jarvis very well is going to give it a go, and it looks like Kamara is in. Andrews Pete's coming back. Your offensive line is pretty healthy, and Dalton's in week 2, and you're at home in the Dome. I do think the Saints offense is going to play a little bit better this week against a bad defense for Seattle, and I'm not buying that Geno Smith's going to go 17 weeks playing really good football. I don't buy that for 1 second. I think the Dome's going to be into it. I think the Saints are going to get rolling early. I think they're going to score a touchdown in the first quarter, which they've been awful at for the first 4 weeks of the season. I got the Saints winning this one by the final score of 28-14 in the Dome.
Ooh, that's some dominant football.
They got to. If they don't, I sit here Monday then they're toast. They're not any good. I think they can get it waked up a little bit.
This is one of those weeks where we're not lock and key. There's not that alignment that we just love to talk about. I just think there's something off with this Saints team this year. I don't know what it is, but I'm picking against them this week. I think something's going on. I got the Seahawks winning 30-21. I don't love this Saints team and how they're playing right now. I just don't see that avenue, and I know Geno's playing well. DK's playing well.
What was that score again?
30-21.
30 points.
I think they do it.
Seahawks?
Yeah, I think they do.
Man.
Yeah,
Cam Jordan, DeMario Davis, Lattimore, Tyron.
The offense isn't playing well, man. They're going to be on the field a lot. I think they're going to score a punch. I think they're going to score a punch, and I think they're going to struggle. So we'll see. I could be wrong. Saints fans could be happy, but I maybe fade Hilly. Let's see what happens.
Fade Hilly. All right, let's do it this time. For the 11 o'clock showdown, it'll be game day leading right into a Saturday morning in Death Valley, LSU and Tennessee.
The boys of Rocky Top, leaving behind the friendly confines of Neyland Stadium in exchange for Death Valley.
LSU Tigers.
You know, it's pretty clear this team plays with great heart and they'll fight, but heart and fight will not win games against the opponents that we're going to have over the next month or so.
And the Tennessee Volunteers.
I don't see any way that LSU is going to just shut down Tennessee's offense. They score against almost anybody, and I think that'll be the case, and I think LSU could struggle there.
Now, here's Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill's final pick.
Take it away, Hilly.
Look, exact opposite of the Saints. I'm feeling a little froggy about my Tigers, man. We're talking about the Tigers right now, man.
Oh, he's
we're
back
feeling
on the
good.
Kool-Aid. You never know. Sometimes he runs out.
Look, man, we're feeling good. 5 in the power rankings. Everything's rolling. Look, we had the player meeting this week, guys. We know how special those player meetings can be. Got Jaden inspired. He knows what that second half looked like last week. I think it's a big-time opportunity to show the nation that we're not a joke, man. We're here to stay. We're here to fight. We're here to battle. I feel great about this game, man. I got my Tigers winning 31-27 at home. I think it's going to be a big-time game to put the nation on notice. You go into next week at 5-1, you're going to be feeling really good. 3-0 in the SEC. I got to pump my purple and gold, man. I feel good about this one.
Look, I said this at the start of the show. Everybody's bummed it's an 11 o'clock kickoff. I got you. I'm with you there. But the environment's going to be awesome tomorrow. I really think so. The weather's going to be good. People are excited for this game. We haven't had a big-time environment in 2 years. It's going to be really good tomorrow as long as LSU can stay in the game. Hendon Hooker, to me, is the Heisman frontrunner, and this guy is playing on another level. To have the statistics he has racked up without an interception is absolutely remarkable. He is playing the best quarterback in the country right now. This Volunteers offense is first in the country in total offense. They're tied for first in passing offense. They're tied for second in scoring offense. They're really, really good on offense, even without Cedric Tillman on the field. And I've been pretty upfront about this. LSU's in a rebuild. Their team is not what it's going to be in the Brian Kelly era. They don't have pros everywhere. And there are some issues in that passing game that we'll see. But if you think on a perfect Falls Friday in Baton Rouge, sun shining, tents going up, that I'm picking against LSU tomorrow in front of 100,000, you are outside your mind. We are going to overwhelm this Tennessee offense with crowd noise and a fast defense. We're going to force a turnover. We're going to make some plays in space. Their defense stinks. LSU 28, Tennessee 27. The Tigers are knocking off a top 10 team, and we're moving forward this football season. Matt's about to come fire you back up again on AFR. I got to go get a beer. Come on, Tigers. Let's get it done inside Tiger Stadium. See you Monday.